Right, so in this video I'm going to go through how to lose that last bit of stubborn belly fat, right? So you can look good for summer, look shredded, and just enjoy life a lot more, right? Be able to go down to the beach, look good, feel good, right? Because who doesn't want to look good and feel good, right? If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good, right? And if you play good, then the money's good, right? I love that saying. That's one of my favorite sayings. But in this video, I'm basically just going to break down how you can just burn that last bit of stubborn belly fat if that's something you're struggling with, and basically pack on muscle, build a good six-pack and a good body, right? Simple as that. Because at the end of the day, as I said, if you feel good, everything else is good. And the way I like to talk about it as well is, imagine you're applying for a job, right? Imagine you're applying for a job and the person standing next to you has a crazy physique. He looks jacked. He looks like he looks after himself. He looks after his skin. He looks after his face. You know what I mean? And then there's you, right? Who do you think out of you two who's going to get that job, right? The person who looks like they look after themselves, purely because it shows discipline, it shows consistency, it shows hard work. Right, and look, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't got the greatest physique and are very, very hard workers, but by losing that last bit of belly fat, by doing all of these little things, you're not just gonna open up opportunities for yourself, but you're also gonna have more energy, right? You're gonna have more energy to play with your kids, enjoy your time with your family, right? You're not gonna feel sluggish every day, right? Days like this, when the sun's out in England, right? Shock, I don't know, we don't get sun like this normally, but when you do, you actually have enough energy to go out and enjoy it, right? And look, by me getting in shape, it's opened up loads of opportunities for myself, right? Not just for work, but just in general, right? Life and meeting new people, because people see me as not better than them, but just someone who actually looks like they look after themselves, right? And they respect me a bit more because I do that. Right, so if you guys obviously don't have that respect right now, then it's coming, right? Just believe in it and just stick to it. So, right, if you guys are looking to lose that last bit of stubborn belly fat, just to reveal your abs, right, number one, you need to start training them, right? So there are a few awesome exercises that I post on my Instagram, even on my YouTube as well, if you guys want to check out a few of the other videos on there, how I basically train my abs and stuff like that. Then look, that's number one. You must train your abs and you must eat clean and have a good diet, right? Diet's like half the battle, and that's going to be most of this video anyway. So if you guys obviously want to build them abs, you have to train them. First of all, you have to train your abs, right? Because at the end of the day, you could burn all of that fat. You could go down from, let's say, I'm doing it in kg because I'm from England. Let's say you're 100 kg, 110 kg, go down to 70, 75, right? You've gone from very overweight to skinny now, but you've got nothing to show for it. So you need to make sure you're still in the gym, you're still working, right, as you're burning that fat at the same time, right? And another great thing as well about putting on muscle is the more muscle you have, the higher metabolism is, right? So as you are trying to burn that fat, right, it's quicker. You're burning more calories because you just have more muscle. So when you're resting, when you're in your rested state, you're actually burning more calories because you have a larger muscle mass, which helps burn that fat quicker, right? Which is what you guys are after. So that's purely because it increases your metabolism. But yeah, obviously that's everything basic. But if you guys want to see some exercises, then obviously check out my other YouTube videos on this channel. I do post a lot of gym stuff on here, so yeah, give them a watch. But the main thing I wanted to go over today is your diet, right, and how to basically lose that last bit of stubborn belly fat. So number one, you need to make sure you're in a calorie deficit, right? But the trick here is to not just be in an absolute ridiculous calorie deficit where you're absolutely starving yourself and you're just like, you got no energy, right? I'm talking like 300 to 500 below your maintenance, maybe even less, right? We could say 2. But the reason why I say this is purely because you're in a calorie deficit, you're still going to burn that fat, right? Number one, you're still going to burn that fat. Number two, you're going to have enough energy also, right, to push forward and do your workouts and just enjoy life in general, right? So obviously decrease your calorie deficit slightly, right? So be in a calorie deficit slightly, and then increase your protein intake as well, right? That's also very, very important. You need to make sure your protein intake is higher than what it'd normally be, just to help you basically feel fuller for longer, number one, right? And also help your body recover and grow stronger, right? Simple as that. And if you follow these 3 steps, then that will help you. So obviously, number one, right, calorie deficit, but must be in a slight calorie deficit, and then increase your protein intake also, and then train your abs as well. So these 3 things is what's going to help you basically show your 6-pack and lose that last bit of stubborn belly fat, right? But I mean, here are a few splits that you guys are probably wondering as well, like, how do I train my abs? What do I do, right? So basically, the way I like to train is, I do obviously play football, right? So football is my form of cardio. I train around 4 times a week, let's say. So I do my cardio 4 times a week, and I do that on a regular basis every week. So I don't miss a day, right? That's another thing. Consistency is so key when it comes to building abs, looking good, feeling good, right? So consistency is key. I probably cardio 4 times a week, right? Let's keep it simple. 4 times a week. And honestly, because I play football, training's like an hour to 2 hours each time. So when I think about it, I am training probably like 4 to 8 hours of cardio a week, right? Which sounds like quite a lot, but it's very stop and start for me, because obviously it's football, but I'm still doing a lot. So that helps burn a lot of calories, right? And then number 2, right? So the way I go to the gym. So when it comes to the gym side, that really depends on my schedule. But for you guys right now who are purely focused on just wanting to build your abs and lose that last bit of stubborn belly fat, have a good schedule, right? So the way I would schedule it, and the way I did, right, this was like, I used to kill myself during lockdown. The way I used to train, right, I don't recommend it, but if you guys want to grow your abs and see results fast, then this is what I did. So every morning when I woke up, I trained my abs in the morning, right? So I'd wake up and I'd hit a core workout, and it'll be 10 to 20 minutes, right? And I'd like be quite intense core workout, and I'd start my day like that. Honestly, I'd start my day like that, and then from there, then I would go into like some sort of cardio or some sort of conditioning, right? If that's on the bike, if that's running, if that's training, right, I'll do that, and then I would come back and then I'll hit my normal gym session, right? So I'd lift weights, I would train the abs, but obviously because we're mostly focusing on the abs. Right, sorry about that. Basically, I just had a fly literally bit me on the back, and then at the same time the camera just went off because it overheated because of the sun. But we're back now, and as I was saying before, right, is the way I used to train, obviously, core as soon as I wake up in the morning. I used to do that 5 times a week. So I didn't do it every single day. So I'd wake up in the morning, hit abs, and at that time as well, I was completely shredded. Right, I was so shredded at this time of the year. And I just look absolutely crazy because I was doing that. At the moment, I'm obviously trying to get a bit bigger, right? Obviously, I play football, I don't want to be too big, but I just want to stay athletic and be able to move and look good at the same time, right? Which I'm guessing most of you do as well, especially if you guys watch my content. But obviously, I'd train abs in the morning, wake up, train abs. I would have breakfast, or I would go and do my cardio, and then I would hit gym later on, right? Later on, do my gym stuff. And then from there, obviously, we're lifting weights. But the trick here with the abs as well is not to just like, it's not just treat them as like just body weight stuff. I used weight for my abs as well. I didn't just use body weight, right? I got dumbbells, I got weighted plates, and I used that to increase the weight for myself. I got resistance bands for my abs, right? There's a few exercises you can use for that, but like, for example, dead bugs. For example, Russian twists, right, with a weight. Like, all of these things help grow your abs and grow them to look defined, right? It's the same with anything, right? You got to treat them like every other muscle group. Right? I know I train them every day, but the one thing with core, actually, you can train them every day. But the one thing I did realise when I was doing it was I did have 2 days off a week, but one thing I did was, like, one day I would go very heavy with the weight, and one day I'll do more body weight, and then the next day I'll do heavy, one day more body weight, right? It would always be intense and really yeah, basically very intense, and I wouldn't have much rest time in between sets, but I would have one day heavy, one day light, just to give your muscles a bit of a rest and to keep them activated, right? And then obviously Saturday and Sunday would just be completely off. But yeah, that's how obviously I trained my abs to where they are today. And then diet as well, right? Diet was super important, as I've already been over. But my diet was super clean at the time as well. It was literally porridge. I literally had the same thing every day. Porridge, oats, right? Honey, nuts, seeds, a bit of fruit in there as well. And then snacks as well. I remember I used to make like rice cakes with a bit of smashed avocado and tuna on top, right? I was so picky when it came to food, right? That's what I liked, with a bit of salt and pepper as well, right? And then obviously lunch would be chicken and rice sort of thing, just the typical. And then maybe in the mid-afternoon we'd have a protein bar or something else as well, some ham, just to keep the protein synthesis up, because the way protein synthesis works, it works every 3 hours, right? So that's the way I like to look at it. Every 3 hours, top up 20 grams of protein, right? Eat something to just keep protein synthesis happy and keep you moving in the right direction, right? So that's the way I would do that. And then from there as well, it was just purely just keeping active, right? I would just keep active throughout the day, keep my exercises up, keep eating the right food, and stretching and looking after myself as well, because recovery is just as important as working out, right? That's one thing I had to learn the hard way. I used to train every single day to kill myself, honestly, right? To a point where I'd be sleeping like 14 hours a night, which was ridiculous, I know. But I just had to learn. And then recovery as well. When it came down to recovery, it was obviously every night before bed, I would roll out and then stretch, right? So you guys can get a roller, or if you've got enough money, you can get a massage, right? And then each night, or once or twice a week, however you want to do it, and then stretch each night as well. So before bed, I would literally stretch every night. If that's just something light, really quickly. You don't have to spend hours doing your stretches, doing yin yoga, which is something I did as well. If you guys want to check out yin yoga, there's a guy called Travis Elliott on YouTube, right? His stuff is so good, right? I do his stuff all the time. It's like meditation as well. It's honestly amazing. But I would do his stuff before bed most nights, plus my own bit of stretching and rolling out as well, right? And from there as well, you should have an absolutely ridiculous sleep, right? It would be so good. You have the best sleep ever. So by doing that, you're not gonna fail, right? You're gonna feel good. You're gonna get to where you want to get to, right? So make sure you're recovering also, right? Because recovery is just as important as the training, right? So make sure you follow those things, guys. If you guys have any questions at all, this video was just completely raw, right? I made it clear from the beginning because I don't want to do any editing. I just want you guys to get to know me and how obviously my fitness coaching business works, and how I've helped hundreds of people transform their physique and life, right? So obviously if you guys are interested in working with myself one-to-one and basically losing that last bit of stubborn belly fat, or just improving your physique in general, life, increase your energy levels, and give me a DM on Instagram, jacklow.8, and yeah, I'll be there to help you. So I'll see you there, and have a good one. Peace.